Rocco, Rocco, you really gotta let me work right now. I'm supposed to be on with Agora Pulse right now. I know it's work from home, but it doesn't mean you. Go, Rocco, go. Hi guys, Mike, hit it. I'm sorry.
It's Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agora Pulse. With this week's special guest, Bella Vasta. Discussing this week's hottest topics and latest developments in social media marketing. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
All right, hey guys, happy Friday and welcome to this awesome and fun, pet-loving Social Pulse Weekly. So first of all, I want to see how you guys are doing. And second of all, I can't believe we're in mid-April already. I felt like March was a year, 2 years, 5 years. And now I feel like April is whizzing by, but hopefully you guys are doing great. This is your all-in-one social media show where we have an expert guest, talk about the latest social media news, also get our content scientists to join the show, and have some fun trivia at the end. Now, remember, this is a two-way conversation. We want to interact with you guys. So let us know who you are, where you're from, and something positive or successful that you've done over the past week or two. We want to hear from you. And also, if you have questions, we want to hear from you as well, because we have an amazing guest on today's show. Now, you already got a sneak peek of her, but she is incredible. She's amazing. Bella Vasta. I would say she's probably the Beyonce of social media. She is the authority when it comes to building your online communities. She is a dynamic personality who has been featured in Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, ABC, NBC, Fox, basically all the channels, social media marketing world, and inbound for her ability to grow brands. She is the author of the book, The 4 Types of Dogs Every Business Needs, and is a podcast host of the long-standing show, Bella in Your Business, and an in-demand keynote speaker at many conferences around the world. With all that said, Bella, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey girl, it's just so amazing when you announce me as like the Beyonce of social media. Like, really, I'll take it. Thank you. But how are you?
I'm doing good. Well, it's because you're the powerhouse, Bella. Nothing gets in your way. You get things done. I was going to say a bad word, but you get things done, Bella. I'm just going to say that right now. And I want to give a quick shout out to Rebecca Ward. Rebecca, we love you. Rebecca, we're super fans of Rebecca because she is
amazing.
Right? And she's in the UK. Hopefully you got your kids to sleep okay there, Rebecca. We've got Juan Santiago, Deb, Teresa. Hey, Teresa, how are you doing? Yeah, Ashley Graham, we love you, Ashley. Ashley, you're amazing. How are things going for you? So, you know what the cool thing is? Ashley, what she was doing to kind of get out and get some fresh air is she would drive to the beach and park and open the windows and read a book, which I think sounds so peaceful, right?
Gosh, I miss the beach. I wish so bad I was near the beach right now.
Oh my God. I wish I could just go outside and not be freaking out, or go to the store, like go to Target without anything on and just relax and enjoy myself in Target. But anyway, so yes, Ashley, thank you for joining us. Rebecca, we've got Ken Watson. Now, Ken is our show sponsor, and we're so lucky to have him here. Ken is a powerhouse as well. He does amazing things with social media. And if you don't follow him, you need to. I feel like I'm on like a want to swear kind of day. I was about to say, a bad something, and I decided not to say it, but I guess Ken is a badass. That's why I hesitated there, guys. I don't know. It's been a good week, but a busy week. Dustin Stout, what's going on, Dustin? All right. So Bella, let's get to it. So you've created an incredible community surrounding your business. And you're the one person that people go to when they talk about community and Facebook groups. But I would love to know how you got started in Facebook groups and how they inspired you and why they're so powerful in your life.
Yeah, so they started originally in 2012 for me. Before it was a cool thing to do, I actually started my own Facebook group inside the pet industry. You guys, I am a consultant in the pet industry. I help scale people's businesses, and in 2012, I was coaching, and I just wasn't feeling the love in some of the groups that had started. I wasn't really digging the leadership, so I built my own sandbox, and that's what I did. And I started that in 2012. In 2014, when I had one of the world's smallest preemie babies, born at only 12 ounces, I started diving in personally into a lot of groups, and those were the micro preemie groups for moms, and got a lot of support. So Facebook groups have been in my life for a very long time, for personal and for business, which I think most of our listeners could actually relate to.
No, and absolutely. And I feel like during this time, Bella, we started a new Agora Pulse Facebook group called Social Pulse Community. And the reason we created that is we with everything that's going on, the uncertainty, we wanted a place where people felt supported and they could collaborate together, talk with each other. Like, I crave community more than anything. I'm a people person. I love talking to people. So this isolation is difficult for me. And so people want to, as human nature, want to feel accepted, and they want that connection, that relationship, which makes Facebook groups so powerful. And it's amazing how many Facebook groups there are. And I remember the Super Bowl commercial when a couple of people maybe thought Facebook groups were going away, and they did it solely on how powerful Facebook groups are, right? And so it's I don't know, they're so amazing and they're so powerful. So Bella, you've done a lot of things when it comes to your clients during this uncertain time, during the coronavirus. And one of them was you created a pop-up Facebook group. And I would love to know more about why you started it and why anybody should start a pop-up Facebook group and what you exactly did in that group.
Yeah. So, I have an agency side to my business where we provide people with marketing materials called Better Marketing with Bella. And I also have a mastermind. And what I really wanted to do, the idea originally came because I wanted to offer them even more value. I wanted to come alongside them and do what I say I always do, which is I'm in your business with you, right? Not just like take your money and run. So I said, you know what? I want to start this group for them, and I want to bring in all of my resources like Winnie Sun, Mike McCallowitz, the author of Profit First, some CPAs, some lawyers, human resources, because we were about to get hit with all of this stuff, and shelter in place and quarantine was looming, and I even get goosebumps talking about it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do this pop-up group. But as I was creating this, it took like probably a good 30, 40 hours to get everyone situated, to get all of the socials, pre-done and written, and graphics, and my team and everything, right? I thought, shoot, I can't leave the rest of the industry out of this. That's just not fair. Like, that's not fair that we're going through a crisis and I'm only going to give my paying clients access. So that's what I did, Jen. And I started it that way. And we went through that, and we had over 100 businesses in there working hard every day, showing up every day. We had 12 Facebook Lives, like Monday through Friday for like 2 weeks. Some days we had 2. Some people were actually have been on your show here. And it was really empowering. It was very scary. It was even scary for me as a leader. I mean, I would be listening to some of this stuff and have my own heart palpitations because I'm a small business owner too. But the thing is that I think that we have to lead. We have to lead our communities right now. And I took that very, very seriously. And so that's what we did. And then in the interim, we opened up a 14-day challenge inside my mastermind, which was to try to help give people some direction. Now, my mastermind is also a small community, right? But we have to show up and give people wins every day and something to focus on, because it's very easy to just want to crawl in bed and not get out of bed right now. It's very, very uncertain times. And then most recently, Jen, I actually just announced it yesterday. I was telling you in the pre-show, we're doing a 7-day grand reopening challenge, because it wasn't enough. I thought that we are going to go through it, have to make all these tough decisions and figure out the legislation. But I'm also going to offer a spot in my community to get us out of this too, because we keep all saying that we're in this together. So let's do it together, right?
Yeah. And I love your positive outlook. You're, allowing companies and entrepreneurs to be like, okay, so don't think about now, think about the future. This isn't where we're going to be stuck at forever. Think
Right.
about when you're thriving again and bringing all your clients and everything else. How do you want to do that? How do you want to reopen your business if you had to close it? And I love the positivity there, because that switches their mindset to, that's right, this isn't the end all be all. This is just, a transition time we're going through right now, but we will come out in the end, and it will be a new normal. Things will be a little different, but you can still have a thriving business in that. And we're all going to be reopening and everything like that. So I love how you've created a positive spin around everything. And I want to give a quick shout out to Eric Fisher. Eric, how are you doing? Satisha, Bella is awesome. So yes, she is awesome. She is hardcore. We've got Christina in the house. Christina,
Hi,
how are you doing? Let us know something fun and positive that's happened for you, or how you guys are staying sane during all this. Rebecca Ward said, so amazing to be helping so many businesses through this difficult time. Yes, you're shining a positive light on so many, Bella. And I would love to know, because I know you've talked about it before, not on this show, but a lot of clients came to you and they were just like, Bella, I have no idea what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get through this. I feel like I'm going to have to close my doors. What were the tips that you gave them and that motivation to keep them going and to lay out a blueprint for success during this time?
So I'd love to say that like it's step A, B, C, D, right? But everyone's very different, especially here in the States, where for our international listeners, because I know we have a big international audience, each of the states kind of govern how they're going to have restrictions, whether it's quarantine or shelter in place. So all of my clients are all in different situations, and this applies to anyone listening too who has a small business. The very first thing that you need to do when you have any kind of tough situation is you need to leverage your relationships. You need to have that conversation with your CPA, with your lawyer, and with your human resources when it comes to having staff, okay? You need to understand what the answers are to your questions, because you can't make an educated decision and a confident decision without that. The problem that I see happening a lot is that people get paralyzed in fear because they don't know what to do. And now, just as recently as today, EIDL, if I said that right, is now out of money. Yesterday, PPP was out of money until Congress does something. So now all of the people that didn't make decisions are kind of caught. The other thing that I would tell people is to meet their customers where they're at. So figure out what are the needs? What is the pivot that you can do? You're not going to do business the same exact way. A personal example is right now, it just so happens that we're inviting people into our second semester of the agency right now. It's probably one of the weirdest times to be asking people for money. But guess what? Our whole entire landing page is now all COVID related. It's about getting through it with everybody. And that's what we have to do as business owners. We have to see where people are at. We do have to be very sensitive to the environment, but you also have to remember that you have a service that people, or a product for those of you listening, that people want and desire. That's why they're your customers. And it's up to you to also change with the time. So it's going to look different for everybody, but we really have to gather our resources to make the best educated decision possible and move forward and know that this is just a temporary part in time. I also want to just tell you this one quick thing, and because I know we have limited time here, but this is something that if you don't remember anything else, we had an amazing person who beat stage 4 non-smokers lung cancer in our COVID support group. And she talked about black swans in our life, how there aren't black swans out there. We don't see them. We only see white ones, right? But a black swan is something that comes and whacks you in the face out of nowhere. You have no idea. It's your triumph over tragedy. And she reminded us, and I want to remind all of you guys, that we've all had our COVID-19 before. We have all been through tragedies, triumphs, crises, and this isn't the first time. So y'all need to dig in deep there, grab that chutzpah or whatever you want to call it, and do it. I personally have to give to people. That's the only way that I stay positive and not depressed through this. I love pouring into people. So Jen, does that answer your question?
It does. That and more, Bella. This is why you're awesome. This is why we brought you on the show. And I want to give a special shout out to Scott Ayers is in the house. Let's see. We've got Rebecca said, so important to be in community of positive people pushing through to keep going. This is very true. We always try to stay as positive as we can. And then we've got Christina. She said, I've been doing a lot of work with nonprofits and helping them spend time getting their social media organized. It's great time to do content calendars if it's not a normal practice for you. Yes. And Ken said, yes, content calendars are kind of crucial to have to make sure you can map out where you're going. So take this time to reevaluate your social media strategy and figure out, is this exactly where you want to be going and how you're going to pivot with the new normal as we move forward. So Bella, first of all, when it comes to Facebook groups, many people may be wondering, okay, should I start a Facebook group? Can you give some people insight on if they should start a Facebook group, and if they should, or, if it makes sense for them, what are the top 3 things they need to remember before they start or to do while they're starting a Facebook group?
So first, should you or should you not? So it's a little complicated because that's kind of like, how much time do you have? You need to figure out how much time do you have, how much resources, both time and money, to dedicate to it, and why. Why is the biggest question. What are you trying to build a community around? Because that's what it is. It's building a community. Okay. It's not about your business. It's not about selling your service. It's about building a community. So if you can answer me that, you have got my blessing to start a community. Okay. And then once you start it, I always like to equate it to like throwing a backyard party. You have to make sure you go to Costco and get the food and the drink. You have to make sure that you know what your theme is. You have to make sure that you're going to have certain people back there that your goal is to get them to interact and get excited within each other, not to be a dictator to talk to them. So there's a lot of prepping and planning that goes into it, like what we were just talking about with the content calendar. These pop-up groups that I'm doing right now, that content planning really does help, because it's like day 1 through 7. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to give them. This is how we're going to offer it. I need these videos shot for this day. Having that plan ahead is going to be drastically important to your success or demise.
That's very true. No, and you talk about, I love, your comparison to bringing people into your backyard when you have a Facebook group, with the front yard and then bringing them into your backyard. I love that comparison you give when you speak. And if you guys have an opportunity to see Bella speak, which hopefully will be in the near future, we'll see what happens, but at least virtually you can do that. She is absolutely amazing. So Bella, can you break down a little bit your analogy about the backyard and making sure how to keep people engaged? I feel like a lot of people create and start Facebook groups, or they maybe have had one that has kind of been, very quiet. Yeah. And so how do you keep that engagement? How do you get people excited? What are the different kinds of content that you can create in there? And how can you organize that content?
Yeah. Well, going back to the backyard party, right? Like we might have like some games in the pool. We might have some people like, cooking and prepping and all in the grill and hanging out there. We might have some people at a table playing cards. We might have some people playing bags in the corner. You're going to have groups of people talking or doing different things. But the point in all of that is that they're doing it together and within each other. And there's some sort of a common bond or a theme that's driving them together. Maybe it's a 4th of July thing, or maybe it's a birthday thing that they're there, but it's that common theme, that common interest in your Facebook group that is building that community. And oftentimes that community wants to keep coming back and back and back. When I see people fail at this, and when their group is on life support, it is them talking to everybody, and they're not really encouraging those little side conversations or things going on. Now, ways to get that going. You can do challenges. Every day you give them something new to do, and it goes on for a certain amount of time. You can have people send video replies back. And I always say to make sure that they're like 30 seconds, because they will end up being a minute. But right? Like record a voice back and then you can do that. You can invite your group to go on a Zoom call, especially now everyone knows how to do Zoom, right? And what that does is it breaks that wall of just a profile picture and it gets people to be more comfortable within each other, which just only helps with engagement. I would use, if you have a lot of information in there, social learning, it's in the settings and you can change it that way. What that'll allow you to do is create units, because one of the biggest problems that people have is that the minute you post on Facebook or in groups, it starts to decay and you're like, I can't find it. And how many of you guys have searched on Facebook groups or Facebook in general, just searched, and what you're searching for doesn't actually come up? Well, units helps with that because you can file things away essentially in units and say, oh, go to unit 3. That's where we talked about time management or whatever it might be. So those are, that's kind of like an overview, a broader view without getting into all the tiny details.
No, it's good. And I think it's hard, getting into the nitty gritty, you'd actually probably want to see your screen and presentation and be able to look at it. But no, that's perfect. And I think people, your backyard analogy and everything you described is so important, because you don't just want to start a Facebook group. Like, things don't just magically come in there. You got to work for it. You got to spend time developing those relationships, talking to people, asking how you can help them, support them, providing you unique opportunities for them to meet each other and see each other and collaborate, which I think is so magical and so awesome. So I would love to know, Bella, a couple things that you've seen in Facebook groups that people are doing wrong or people are doing poorly and they should be doing a different way.
Yeah. So the build it and they will come, like, that doesn't work. Like, no, like, just forget that. And I think that people think that they care. I call it the so what factor, Jen. Like, so what you have a group? Like, what does it add value to me in my life? Right. And I'll tell you, I mean, here's a good example, you guys. I want you to think about, how many groups are you currently a member of? I guarantee you, nobody knows, watching and listening. You have no idea how many actual groups you're a part of, but you'd have to go look, right? But if I ask you the question, tell me your top 3 groups that you love and why, that's going to tell me that they're either doing their job or feeding you somehow, right? So it would be the social media brainstorming group, because anytime I have a question, I can go in there, or a social media marketing society, because that's like where I live, basically, or the pet sitting group, because that's where I need je ne sais pas. Okay, I love it. Sorry, squirrel. So it really just depends. It depends. And the other thing I see people do is, I alluded to this at the beginning, but they come in and they act like it is like I'm a speaker and I'm only speaking to the audience and you're not speaking back to me. It's me talking to you. I'm the dictator. That's it. And nobody came in there to like watch you. They came in there for an experience and for you to somehow add to their life and to give them value. So if you can figure out why, like, truly answer, why should I be a member of your group? What is it going to do to benefit my life? You'll have a great time. But the ones that make the mistake and that have life support, they have not intrinsically answered those 2 questions. And that's where I think the whole key is. It'll unwrap everything else.
No, and I think those are like very good points and valid points, Bella. And you explain and describe everything so well. And I would love to know, so besides the Facebook groups, you've done these 14-day challenges, these individual challenges. I would love to know how you've actually inspired people through those and how those also build community, and just some examples of some of the ones you've done, because you have one going on right now. Is that correct?
I do. What's up, Jessica? Craveable experience in groups. Yes. So after we had the big, huge COVID support group, right? When all this stuff was going down, we couldn't just lay it there flat, right? Because now, like, we have all this anxiety. Now we have all this information. Now we got to make all these decisions. And now it's like, And so I never like to give people problems. I love to give people solutions. So that was my solution. Come on in the mastermind, come alongside of us. I'm going to give you something easy on the next 14 days that's not going to take like you moving mountains, but you're still going to feel like you have a little bit of direction. You got a win for the day, a win, which we all need these days, right? And you can check it off and be like, yeah, I did it. But not only just you, but you know that other people are doing it. You know that your accountability partner is doing it. And through that, I think that that's what builds community, when you see other people struggling along with you, right? And winning alongside with you. So along those same lines, we couldn't help ourselves. My business partner, Liz, and I got together and also said, you know what? Well, we got him through it. We're doing this. Now what? Like, we just like pretend nothing happened and we just open up? No. Oh my gosh. Like, we might not have the gift of having a ton of revenue. Amy Porterfield said this on a podcast. I've quoted her like 3 times in the past 24 hours. I love it. A lot of people might not have the gift of revenue right now, but they have the gift of time. And I want to make sure that anyone that's in my community has enough inspiration to think about all these different areas that they can do over the next 7 days about how they can touch their business, how they can build their business, how they can come back even stronger. Because we hear this everywhere, right? Like, go learn something or go do this or go do that. And it's really easy to just get overwhelmed and be like, I can't make a decision. I don't know. Like, and it's just a blur. So I thought, like, what if I could be that leader in my community and take people along with us and say, hey guys, let's have a conversation about this today. And when we have a conversation about this, it's going to look very different for a lot of different people, right? Going back to the backyard, y'all ain't going to eat the hamburger the same way. You're going to put different ingredients on it. So today we're eating a hamburger, and you can make it however you want, but your belly is going to be full by the end of the day. Does that make sense, or did I just take that way too far?
No, your analogies are awesome, Bella.
Okay.
We just need to talk to you about analogy creation, because it does put things into perspective and makes people understand, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's how that works, which, I love all of that. And we have about 10 minutes left with Bella before we're going to bring on Mr. Scott Ayers to join the party, because he's awesome. He better be wearing his orange wig too. But I do have a question. And first of all, I have a question for everyone else. I would love to know what's kept you guys positive. If there are any Facebook groups that you're in, even before this time, what are your favorite Facebook groups that you're in? Please actually list them, tag them so we can see all of them, and what makes them so special. And also if there's any challenges that you're doing. Now, Bella, you also have a mastermind. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and how that benefits your business, and maybe why some business owners maybe want to join one or start one themselves?
Yeah. So I think a lot of us consultants start out with selling time for money. And after a while, you're on the phone with people all the time, and you almost become robotic because people are all asking virtually the same questions, just in a different form. And when I realized that was happening to me about 3 years ago, and I realized that I wanted my goal is to help as many people as I possibly can, that I couldn't do that one-on-one, and I needed to shift my thing to one-to-many. And so one of the ways that I did that was the mastermind. I also realized that I was spending a lot of time on Facebook and in my free Facebook groups. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense from a business standpoint, right? I'm pouring my heart and soul, doing videos, training people, telling them not just what, but how. And I was like, I need to monetize this, because at the end of the day, I do have a business. So that's what I do. My mastermind members get all the extra. Like a couple weeks ago, I posted a thing about 12 ways that you could talk to your customers right now during COVID, like excuses on like how to like message them and say stuff. But what I did is, for the mastermind members, I expanded it to 15 reasons. And then I wrote like a paragraph underneath each one. The blog just had it listed out. The mastermind members got more. They got like the how, not just the what, but the how. And so I would say that if anyone is thinking about joining a mastermind, find out what the value is. I would also encourage you to not call it a mastermind, believe it or not, because I think that word is now very much overused, or inner circle, or whatever it might be. Amy Porterfield calls hers momentum, which is cool. It's kind of like off the beaten path, But I think it's a great thing, but it's also like having another child because you have to tend to it. It's not just something that I can just schedule a post and be done with. Like, part of, I think, the reason why our mastermind's so great is because I'm in there all the time. We have an incredible community manager that helps me with, like, as my right hand, but I also am in there. People get access to me. We have like 3 or 4 different events every single month in there. I bring in an HR person. These are things that really matter to my community. So if you can find out like what matters to your community and how can you create it on like a monthly basis, you could be wildly successful. But it just really, really depends. It depends. It comes with strategy, and it's not for everyone. And I always like to throw in there, Jen, and this is my like final point on this, that you don't have to be the one doing the things. Maybe you're a business owner out there and you're like, I just don't like, I wish I had your energy, or I wish I could do that. I wish I could start a group. You don't have to. Go find a group that's being like, that is amazing, that has great engagement, and see how you can be of service to that group manager or to the group admin, the group leader, the business owner, because all of us are looking for really great ways to add value to our community. That is our sole responsibility, to add value to our community. And maybe there's a way you can come alongside them or partner up with them with your services or products or experience or whatever it might be to add value. So don't be afraid to partner up with different groups as well.
And I think that's great advice. You don't always have to be the leader, the one doing it. You can help out, or you can join a group and learn. I think it's actually Brian that says, surround yourself with people that know more than you, or know more than different things than you. And that way you can learn from each other. Deb Mitchell made a good point. Community happens when you see other people winning along with you. And that's how it's supposed to be. I always feel great seeing people winning, doing something successful. I just think that's it makes me so happy, and which I absolutely love. We've got some of the Queenies in the house. We've got Kelly. Kelly, how are you doing? Kelly Noble Mirabella. If you need to know anything about bots, you want to learn how to set up bot strategy, you need to follow her, Baby Got Bot. You can look at her course on YouTube. It's absolutely amazing. So yes, so much going on, so much excitement. And Bella, you have told us and kind of mapped out your strategy and blueprint for success and how you do everything. I would love to know, what are your top 3 productivity tools or desktop apps on your phone, or even content creation tools that you just can't live without and make your life so much easier?
Yeah. Well, this might sound silly, and this is something everyone has, but I'm just going to say Facebook Messenger. But I'm going to tell you something odd about it, right? So first of all, Messenger is a really great way for me to communicate with my members. But on the weekends, I actually delete it off my phone, because then it's not dinging and binging and I have to go onto a physical device in order to check my messages. So if anything's if you ever feel like you're overloaded, consider just deleting the app for a couple hours or a day or so. Don't be afraid to do that. It was funny. Someone once told me that a year ago, and I was like, duh, so that was funny. Of course, I'm going to say Agora Pulse, and not just because I'm on your show, but literally because my team would be lost without it. We really do when we talk about scheduling stuff, that's how we do it. That's how we approve it. That's how we keep track of, especially right now, our chat bot is really going off the charts crazy, mostly because of Kelly Noble Mirabella, who we just, talked about. She's helped advise our team on some pretty killer strategies. And, Agora Pulse helps manage all of that, because it's just going off everywhere. And I really love Asana too, because when I have my brain dumps or my ideas, I get my ideas when I'm driving in my car or late at night. And I don't want to be sending emails to my team in the middle of the night, so I can put them onto Asana and really just flush them out there. So those are the ones. There's more than 3. I absolutely love Voxer too for certain people in my life. I am a verbal processor. I like to talk and I like to listen. So most of the time when I'm doing my makeup and stuff, I'll do that. Another one is, and I'll stop here, but the motivation app, it's called Motivate, and it's black with an M on it. And every morning, if you subscribe, they will send you videos that go up to 30 minutes, and it's about like just kick ass, we can say that, right? It's about kick ass stuff that like really helps motivate you, and hence the name, and just get you in that good mindset, because I think as leaders or as group managers or as Facebook Live people, like anything that we're doing, we are all leaders in our own right, and it's really important that we pick and choose what we feed our brain with, because you can't run on empty, and you can't run on CNN and Fox News. Like, you just can't.
No. And I love how you said that we are all leaders in our own right. And so, and make sure you protect your energy and your mind and only fuel it with positive things. Rebecca Ward said, love that. Not just tools you can't live without, but hacks on how to use them. Yes, Rebecca. We've got Naomi in the house. Naomi, it's so great to see you here. I'm so glad you're here. Megan Powers, you're awesome. She says she mutes all the combos, only gets into Messenger when she has time. Julie Riley, nice to see you too. Cheers on your client call. Hopefully it went great. And oh, there's Ken. Ken is our show sponsor and is wanting an official late note from Julie. But it is almost 2:35. So I actually want to bring on our content scientist, Scott Ayers, if he is in the house, and see how he's doing and what he's been up to. So a lot of you are finding yourselves, you can't go into the office and you're going live from different locations. If you watched our Lunch and Learn on Tuesday, I had my daughter with me. She was crying a little bit. So we're all finding different spots. Scott, where are you live from?
Yeah, because my office is about 40-minute drive from my house. And because of the COVID stuff, we're on travel restrictions. I can't leave my county. And so I'm actually in a room in my wife's school. My wife's a kindergarten teacher. And I'm really good friends with the superintendent. We've been friends since he was a kid. And I'm older than him. And so I was like, hey, can I use, because they have an incredible internet up here. So I said, hey, can I use her classroom? He's like, well, I'd really not go to the classroom, but why don't you use this room that we use for like driver's ed, and stuff like that. And so I'm set up as, I just recorded a podcast with Richard for the blog post we just released. I'm like set up on multiple desks. My microphone is clamped to one desk. I am literally sitting at a tiny little desk. I'll put a picture of it on Instagram, and a little chair, and everything's behind me, and I got a light in front of me. So yeah, hopefully I got it set up right before we got started here.
Well, you look good. You look awesome.
It's good lighting.
Yeah. And Cheyenne said, what are we using? Yes, we're using StreamYard, Cheyenne. ECam is also great. Scott has used vMix. That's if you want to do amazing, incredible things like totally off the wall. It's very powerful too. But StreamYard, it's awesome. It's inexpensive, and it allows you to have this clean, crisp look right here. So Scott, I would love for you to tell us about your recent podcast recording that you just did. And so for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, we actually have a content scientist at Agorapulse, guys. We spend up to $10,000 to $15,000 each month on different kind of experiments. And we mean social media experience, A/B testing different things to see what works, what doesn't work, so you don't have to waste your time or your money, and we give you those results. And Scott Ayers is our guy. He is a scientist with his fun orange hair. This is real hair.
I like that it's in the middle of the logo right now on the corner.
Yeah, it kind of blends in. So Scott, let us know what you just finished up and what you're working on.
Yeah, the blog we just published on Wednesday, we spent $2,000 to test Facebook mobile ads versus Facebook desktop ads to kind of see which one performed better. Because what we found is we look up the stats, 98% of Facebook users use a mobile device at least once during the month. And I think something like 70-something% only use a mobile device. So we kind of want to see if mobile ads perform better. And we're basing that on CPC is our main thing we're looking at, as well as click-through rate. Because we're not looking at conversions, because we're just sending blog traffic. This is an awareness ad, which I think are really, really important, especially for us. And so we split test two different ads. Ran 1 month. We did one for a month, one for another month. And the results were kind of what we thought. Like Richard and I just recorded the podcast. And we're like, sometimes we have these, easy home runs on our hypothesis. And a lot of times I get it wrong. But this is one of those ones where we actually got it right.
Oh, that's awesome. So any unique findings in there? tips or anything?
Yeah, what we found, I can kind of talk about a couple of the geeky numbers. You can run over to the lab posts and read all the data. We put all the data on there, and it's a lot. If you're a data nerd, you'll love all the data. But CPC was a little over 28% lower on the mobile ads. With click-through rate was about 29% higher, which is what you want. You want click-through rate to be higher. So all that, the link clicks, we had 72% more link clicks on the mobile ads than we did the desktop ads. So we drove a lot more traffic at a lower cost. The interesting thing was, and I expected this, honestly, there was a lot less engagement on the mobile ad, where the desktop ad, and y'all can see all the data there on the screen. The mobile ads, you don't tend to interact with mobile ads a lot as much, especially because the experience. You click on it, you go over to it, you come back, and you've got a notification or somebody texts you and you forgot about it. Whereas on the desktop, it's a lot easier to kind of come back over. So we had a lot more engagement on the desktop than we did the mobile, but we kind of expected that, and our whole goal was to drive traffic.
Oh, that's so interesting, actually. Great information to learn. And Bella, I would love to know, where do you find most success with your ads?
Oh my gosh. Which ones? I wish I could say. I'm not the one that does them. I can tell you that if you've ever been thinking about getting into Facebook ads, now is the time.
Yeah.
Because I hear that it's like on clearance. And I know that we did get like 2 conversions. Pam does them on my team. One video conversion for a penny and another one for 2 pennies.
Oh my goodness.
That's insane. That's insane.
So that's why I don't need to know how it works. Like, I just let her do that.
Well, and you know what? I think a lot of people, and it's smart to do this, when all this was going on, they took a step back or they paused their ads to make sure, are they sensitive enough for the current situation? Because you don't want to be forcing stuff into people's face, selling people things. And so you got to be sensitive, but it's okay to still be successful if you do it in a sensitive way. It's okay to still do that sort of a thing. So you can find creative ways to do it. And I think a lot of companies are finding great ways to support people, running ads to support those heroes, those health heroes they're working tirelessly to save everyone, protect everyone. But there are some creative ways to use it. So don't think that you have to step away from ads. And we actually had Tony Christensen on our show last week and talking about this. And so, and you can rewatch that because he dropped so much knowledge, and he's such a super geek too. Like you and like Scott and him together is just like, whoa. Super geeked
well,
up.
he has a show with Amanda Robinson now. You talk about 2 geeks.
Yeah.
Show. Boy, that's crazy on that one. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, ad cost is super, super cheap right now, but it also depends on the industry that you're in, of course. Like, I'm seeing tons of ads for funny t-shirts and masks, and stuff like that. Those are really high right now. Plus video conferencing tools are advertising like crazy. So some businesses probably aren't doing well, but some right now it's super, super cheap to get clicks. Now that it converts a whole other story.
I would totally get with, like, if you don't know how to do it, you really should get with people like Tony or Amanda. Cause like right now, I told you that I had those COVID pop-up groups, right? Somehow someone thinks that I run a CPA firm and a lawyer firm because I'm getting targeted with a ton of ads, like as if I was that. And I'm like, no, you guys, you're doing this wrong. Don't be wasting your money.
Yeah, I'm an admin for a real estate company's local real estate realtor. They let me look at their insights, and I get the ads all the time for them. I'm like, I'm not a realtor, but I guess because I'm an admin of the page, sometimes they target me. I'm like, you're wasting your money on these ads.
Oh my God, I love that. And so with that said, I think we're going to get to the news, but I'm keeping all of you guys on. Okay. Bella, you're staying. And Scott, I want your insight too. So I don't know if you guys know this amazing special person, but the incredible Jen's Trends, or Jen Herman, Instagram expert. So there's been a lot of Instagram news this week. One of which is how to watch Instagram. You can watch Instagram live on desktop. But Jen did some tests on Sunday night and realized that she was running into just a few issues. So she wrote a blog post, how to watch Instagram live on desktop, which is really awesome. And it kind of goes through everything. So she goes over the basics, like you can watch Instagram live videos on desktop, but you cannot stream a live video from the desktop. You'll see a live icon next to the person in the story section on the desktop when they are live. And you cannot watch replays on the desktop at this time, but you can only watch the live broadcast. So they're slowly rolling these trends out, but she kind of breaks down what it looks like and what you can expect, and a couple of tricky things that may slip up, or there could be some issues. But it's a great article, and if you are not a part of Jen's group, Jen's Trends in Social Media, that's a Facebook group, you should join it because she geeks out about everything Instagram and social media all day long. So it's wonderful. So that's just a great article to read, because you can now watch Instagram Live on desktop, but it has to be live. You can't watch the replays, which I think is super cool and awesome. So let's dive into our next one, which I think you guys, Scott and Bella, especially you, Bella, with your challenges. I don't know if you've used it yet, but you probably will. Instagram is testing their new challenge sticker for stories, which would enable users to call on their connections to participate in visual competitions, prompting more engagement. Now, TikTok was the motivation for this. And you can see with the quick screenshot in this article, the challenge sticker will be added to the regular sticker tray in stories. And when applied, you'd then be prompted to tag friends to participate, while, as you can see down the bottom of the screen, there's also an option to search challenges, which I think is super cool, within the hashtag field based on trending content. So the duet mode, if you know TikTok, was kind of the inspiration for this. So I think this is huge, guys. I don't know about you, but me personally, and for the Agora Pulse brand, we find a lot more engagement in our stories rather than our feed posts on Instagram. And I think this could be a game changer for a lot of different companies.
I absolutely love this. I feel like we're already doing this, or at least I am, because every now and again I'll get like a dancing feeling, and I'll start dancing and then I'll tag like 5 people and kind of send the challenge their way. So now this is going to be so much easier.
Yeah, I love it. What about you, Scott? You're going to challenge people. You're going to start a wig challenge?
That could do that. Like, show me your hair. Like, especially right now with no one getting, especially as men, we can't get haircuts. So everybody's getting, afro. Jeff C has been posting like a daily hair update. His hair has gone crazier than his beard. And so, so I think there's a lot of, could be kind of a fun, like, show me your hair. You could have some fun in this time right now. Doing some down, like show me your backyard. Speaking of Bella talking about groups, show us this, show us what you're doing.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I hang in my backyard all the time. I got a deck and a fire pit, and I'm always out there every night. But so I think you can have some fun with this. This could be kind of interesting. Yeah.
And I would love for you, Scott, maybe a fun test down the road is, how much higher does the engagement get with this challenge button? Maybe like doing somehow kind of working through a challenge with a button and without a button. I don't know if that is really apples to apples, but you could maybe potentially see the engagement, or we can just report on it.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah.
A good one. Kathy Nolan's watching. She says she's hosting a doodle challenge, and she is, because I've talked to her about this in her group. But like someone like this, that would be amazing, because it's so visual, right? So like we did the doodle challenge, and then instead of inside the Facebook group, take it virtual and say, now post it on your IG and tag the challenge. And then she's got this whole record of all the stuff that's happening inside of her group. It's like so meta. I'm like rolling it out right now. You see what I'm saying? Like
steam's coming out of your ears.
Great,
right now.
like content she could have from all of that. Like these are all the pictures.
It is. And Kathy, so if you guys don't know Kathy Nolan, she's a caricature artist. She's amazing and incredible. If you need a caricature for any reason, or for your company or employees, go to her, contact her, because she's amazing. They're incredible. We've used her. Oh, and there's one right there. That's her artwork right there. So yes, Kathy is incredible. Scott, do you have a caricature from Kathy with her own hair?
I don't yet. Wink, wink.
Devastating. Yeah. Okay. It is devastating. Well, we're going to have to work on that for you, Scott. We're definitely going to have to work on that for you. So our one last piece of news that I want to cover, and there's actually been a lot going on this week, but I think this is really important. And Bella, especially with what you do in building community, I think this is going to be so helpful. Facebook is running, and I'm sure you know this, is running their new workshops to help group admins manage their communities amid the COVID-19. So with many people turning to Facebook groups to stay connected and informed, they're working to add new group tools and options to help admins provide accurate, timely information and manage their communities during the crisis. So they're going to be hosting a bunch of online events and workshops. They're going to be held Tuesday, April 21st, and Thursday, April 23rd in varying local time zones. So this is next week, and in languages, English, Spanish, Brazilian, Portuguese, German, Italian, French, and Bahasa. I probably mispronounced that. Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. And so, but this is the basic agenda for North America in English. 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So that's going to be noon. They're going to have this whole workshop. And they additionally note that they'll have breakout sessions and time for questions, along with announcements from special guests. So I think this is huge, especially for people new to it, not sure what to do, or those groups that are trying to help support different communities or things going on with the coronavirus. This is a huge source of information, and it's next Tuesday and next Thursday. So mark those dates on your calendars if you are interested in this. On the article, you can click here that there's a button where you can go to get more information on signing up for it. But I love that. I think that's huge. And I love the way all the social channels are kind of adding new features to promote people to stay at home, but also to make sure that people have a way to communicate with each other during this time, since we can't see each other. So I like it. What do you think, Scott?
I mean, I think it's important. I think, Facebook's been focused on groups for a long time now, or at least in the last year. So I think this is an interesting time for them to leverage that and train people. I know the local groups that I'm in, and I admin, the activity on them is insane. Like I run a group locally. It's called Feeding Gatesville. So we're just helping feed our homeless. And now we're like, okay, people are out of school. We're helping make sure people know where to get food at. And those groups are crazy active right now. Our church group, we have a members group just for our members of our church, and it's crazy active because people are trying to figure out how to get connected and stay connected when you can't get in person. So and I know, like for us, our church group, we can't go to church, so we're watching virtually. Like we're challenged, hey, post a picture of you watching church right now, so it's kind of having fun in the groups. And I think Facebook can help people who are novices, in any way. I think that's going to help the group stick around longer after this whole thing's over with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. When you create a community, like even right now, just to help support people, though that community just doesn't disappear, once everything returns to a new normal, they're there with you, and it's a great way just to support each other and collaborate, help each other through this, but continue that community when this is all over, because some of the things when it comes to either natural disasters or, different serious situations is it's like, I wish things were like this, like people were so kind or supportive all the time. You get the best out of people sometimes in the worst situations, but sometimes I wish it was all the time we got the best out of people, not just during bad things. And so, and I love Facebook groups because it's just a really positive environment right now. So if you're thinking of starting one, definitely now is the time. And Bella can help you out with that, all different kinds of resources and everything that she has. And with that said, guys, it's trivia time, and you guys get to guess, but you're not going to win it. So you guys, we have trivia at the end of every show. And if you do win, you get the option of getting either an Agora Pulse mug or a t-shirt. It's your choice. And people will pay hundreds of dollars for our mugs and our t-shirts. They just will. They practically were putting us down. Right? A mug or a t-shirt. So are you guys ready for these questions? Are you ready, Bella and Scott and everyone else watching?
I'm ready.
Yes? Oh my God, let's do it. Okay. So question number 1. According to influencer marketing platform Clear, their recent research claims that IG stories usage has increased by what percentage since the outbreak? By what percentage has IG stories usage increased? Is it A, 15%, B, 23%, C, 32%, or D, 46%? What do you guys think?
I'm going to say 32%.
Yeah, I got through high school and college by going with C on multiple choice, so I'm going with C. Yeah.
It's very true. And you guys, for out there answering, make sure you answer 1-A or B or C or D, so we know you're answering question 1 when we go back through these.
Yeah, I think A is too low, so I don't
Yeah.
think it would be A. So I think it's one of the higher ones, C or D.
Is it bad that the marketer in me wants to say, well, what age group are we talking about? Are we talking about
Yeah,
millennials, Z?
that's true.
I love how Rebecca
yeah.
took your advice, Scott, or she probably took her own advice and went with C. C's a great choice, and we're not going to say it right now. Ken says D, 46%. So if you guys haven't thought of doing IG stories or using IG stories, you may want to just think about it. Take a step back from your current social media strategy and see where the uptick is, where people are right now, and how you can maybe provide content there. And some of the greatest advice that we've gotten on this show is Jen Herman actually said, if you're going to transition putting content in a different place, you want to test that for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So your customers, your fans, your followers learn that place is where you're putting that content. They learn where to get that content. Because if you test it for 2 or 3 weeks, you're like, man, nobody's caring or engaging. It's not enough time. You got to give it time. So that was one of my favorite tips from Jen. All right, you guys. Great guesses. Dylan. Hey, Dylan. Thanks for joining the show. You're awesome. Andrew Pickering, I heard, was in here as well. All right. So, guys, question number 2. This is serious. According to the latest report from App Annie, consumer spending in both iOS and Android apps was up by what percentage, which set a new record for in-app spending for a single quarter at $23.4 billion worldwide. Now, these are percentages respective to iOS and Android. So 15%, the first one is iOS, Android is 5%. So again, according to the latest report from App Annie, consumer spending in both iOS and Android apps was up by what percentages, which set a new record for the in-app spending for a single quarter. Do you guys like that?
Mike's like, I don't even understand
how much
the question.
Is spending up? Well, like, how much is spending up? And I would go for the highest, honestly, because we're all buying stuff. I want to know how much TikTok is up. This isn't that question, but I haven't. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. No, actually, TikTok has. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're doing as well. And you know what? When we were talking, Cheyenne, woohoo, good guess. So we talked in one of our prior episodes about those social media channels that are seeing an uptick in usage. And actually, LinkedIn was on the lower end, which I think was so surprising with all different things going on. But yeah, you just don't know where people are going to go. Scott Ayers said B. So yeah, that's great. And Bella, are you saying the highest? Are you going D?
Yeah, I'm going D. I'm definitely going D. I just feel like everyone's buying stuff right now online.
Yeah, no, they really are. And so am I, which is so bad. But anyway, I know I get targeted by the targeting of Instagram ads is so amazing. Like I lay in bed and I wake up in the morning and I just scroll, and like before I get out of bed, I purchase 2 things. I'm like, man, what happens? My monthly budget's out the window. It just happens that way. All right, guys. So that is it. That is our show. We're not going to give away the winners right now. We're going to leave it about 24 hours. So if people weren't able to watch us live, they can watch the replay and guess as well. But I just want to say a big, huge thank you to Bella Vasta for joining us and sharing your knowledge and expertise. Bella, where can people join your Facebook group, follow you, get information from you, hire you?
Yeah, right below. Just get me at Bella Vasta on all of the social channels. You can go ahead and friend me right now if you want. Or my page is The Bella Vasta. So facebook.com/The Bella Vasta or at Bella Vasta on Instagram. I love Instagram personally. So.
Oh my God, me too. I think it's my favorite. All right, Scott. So Scott, where can people find you, your orange hair, all your scientific experiments, your podcast, which is always great to listen to as well? Where can people get all that information?
Yeah, podcast, just search for Social Media Lab. You should find us. But a quick way to get over to our blog is agorapulselab.com. That'll take you right over to it. And you can follow me personally. I'm Scott Ayers on Instagram. And I make my kids do random things on Instagram stories usually.
Yeah. No, Scott is amazing, you guys. He is so awesome. And a big shout out to Ken Watson, who has been our show sponsor. He's been welcoming everyone in. He's been asking questions. He's been absolutely amazing. You can follow Ken at Ken Watson KS for all sorts of good information, social media knowledge, anything you could ever want from Ken. Follow him. He's great. You want to get to know him. With that said, next Friday, we have the amazing and incredible Erin Gargan King. She is joining us. She is an author, and she's a thought leader in the marketing industry, and she's incredible. And I think she's well known all over the place. She's an international speaker, and we're very lucky to have her actually on Friday to join us because she's been very busy. So we're having her. And then our lunch and learns that we have actually in our Facebook group, Social Pulse Community, we have Winnie Sun in next Tuesday at noon. We're going to be talking about all sorts of finance stuff, everything else, which is so incredible. And last but not least, we are giving away our social media manager school free for 4 weeks. That's right, our social media manager school free for 4 weeks. So if you sign up any day in April, you will get 4 weeks from that date to be in the school, learn in the school, take all the courses, anything you could ever want, what you want to learn from. It's all free from us to you. We're trying to help you, support you during this time. If you have some extra time, you want to do some learning, definitely join the social media manager school so you can get all the information that you can. And with that said, guys, it is Friday. It's sunny where I am. Hopefully it's sunny where you are, or at least you have a sunny mindset. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us and watching. And we will be back next Tuesday for the Lunch and Learn, and then for Social Pulse Weekly next Friday. Have a good weekend.
Bye.